everyone. I'm Linda Nickell, and welcome to the Happiness Hour. My goal here is to help us all connect, inspire, and create. Every week, a new speaker joins us to share a bit of inspiration, creativity, and tips on how you can improve your photography portfolio. Upcoming presentations can be found on my website at lindanickell.com. Under Happiness Hour, you'll find the links to my YouTube channel and our community blog. Erin Randall is a coach in Austin, Texas, and you can find her at admilyoracoaching.com. Say hello, Erin.
Hello, Erin. And you knocked it out of the park. You got it down.
I was going to say something else, and I thought, no, I'm not going to say.
No, still not motivating people. Still not. No.
You guys, Erin has been here from day one. She was part of the brain trust when I said, hey, I want to do this. And she's like, hey, let's do it. So please say thank you to her because without her and me getting to bounce ideas off of her little brain, we would not be 54 sessions into this project. So Erin, thank you very much. And Elaine, Elaine Pruden is in the room too, and she's helping me with the community blog. So it takes an army to help me get my little projects off the ground. So thank you, ladies. My guest tonight is Heather Foster. Heather is a freelance graphic designer, website builder, and brand stylist. Over the past 20 years, Heather's interest and skills in Photoshop led her into a full-service graphic design business. In tonight's presentation, Heather will break down the different social media platforms for photographers, explain why social media is important, and give us photographers a simple and easy-to-follow guide to enhancing our own online presence. Last year, Heather designed her first book cover, and she was here in January with author Joe Cassie McRae in a session called The Lightcatcher Murders, Not Your Typical Cozy, to discuss her artistic process. So you can find that presentation on the YouTube channel. So welcome back to the Happiness Hour, Miss Heather.
Hi, I'm glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. You know, when I started lining people up, I kept thinking, I really want to have somebody that knows something about social media. And it took me months to figure out what I wanted that person to do. And I didn't know you at the time. And Michael Rung is here in the room. And he's somebody that I've gone on photography trips with. He's a nature and landscape photographer. He was here last week, actually. But anyway, when I'm up in the Dallas area, Dallas/Fort Worth area, you know, he'll meet me and a group of our friends and have, you know, dinner and Heather this and Heather that. And I'm like, why doesn't Heather like join us? And he's like, she doesn't want to listen to a bunch of photographers. And over a conversation, I asked him, what does she do for a living? And he said, she's a graphic artist. And I said, does she do logos? And he's like, yeah, she does that and all kinds of other stuff. And at the time, I was looking to get a logo made, not for the Happiness Hour, because that was not even on my radar, but I had a couple of friends that were starting their businesses, and I thought that would be a gift I could give to them. And so I reached out to you, and I don't know if you remember that call, but I was like, look, Heather, all I'm here to do is give you money. And you need to work with those people and keep me out of it. And so the reports I was getting back was like, she's awesome. She's great. She's this, she's that. I was like, okay, that's really cool. So finally, when I was getting my act together and, and deciding that does the Happiness Hour need a logo? Of course, I was going to reach out to you. And so if you guys go to the YouTube channel, you'll see the logo there. And that's something that she worked on for me. So with that, Heather, tell us a little bit about you, because I just kind of skimmed over, glossed over, just kind of like the highlights. So give us your...
Well, professionally, like you said, I've been working with Photoshop for almost 20 years now. But even when I was younger, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a program a long time ago called Corel Draw that I used to play with, literally play with for hours on my parents' computer. And just over, I don't want to age myself here, but 30 years. Um, I just kept developing and playing around with and seeing what works. And I had a real interest in art. But I am I'm terrible at drawing, like, with a pencil and stuff like that. So graphic design is kind of a great crutch, but
Mhm.
being able to use my artistic abilities, but in a way that I can make my computer do it for me a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so like I said, I've been doing this for a really long time. A little bit of background: I grew up overseas. My dad worked for an aerospace company, and we traveled the world up until I graduated from high school. Came back here and started going to, I actually did go to art school for a little bit in London and was able to study there, which was really amazing. And my true love, Michael Rung, who presented last week, has been so encouraging and my biggest cheerleader, besides Linda and Aaron, who are my next biggest cheerleaders, for helping me get this business up and running in the middle of a pandemic. I really wasn't entirely planning on making graphic design and logo design my primary focus, but these three, and I don't know how this is all laid out, but the three of them really pushed me, and they're the reason I am where I am today. And I am so, so super grateful. And like Linda said, I do logo design. I really do website design as well. Any sort of thing you could possibly need made on a computer, I'm your girl. But I started out, strangely enough, doing social media management, and that's kind of what brings me here today. Is I've spent 3 or 4 years really in depth managing social media accounts for some local businesses in Fort Worth. Caveat note: I am not in Fort Worth today. I am in sunny, breezy, slightly smelly Amarillo, Texas. My sister is on the verge of giving birth to her second child, and I am here wrangling, not at this moment, but wrangling my 2-year-old nephew and helping out where I can. So my system here is a little MacGyvered together, and but I'm looking forward to this presentation. So if I do another presentation, my background will look different. My setup will be a little bit different. So just trying to polish or put some lipstick on this pig is what I'm going to call it.
You're doing fine. Because, you told me what your setup was last night. And I kind of giggled and I thought, oh my God, if her computer falls off, I kind of died laughing.
I've got some very strategic Amazon boxes and some non-slip surfaces around. If I'll take a picture of it, I'll post it on my Instagram once we're done. So if you guys visit my Instagram this evening and see in my stories just the chaos that you can't see around here, you're gonna have a good laugh, because it makes college dorm rooms look organized and tidy. So
All right, you're going to do fine. All right, let's get you started.
So again, I'm Heather Foster. I am the only person who works at Star Street Creative Digital Design Studio. I share a wall with Michael Rung Photography. It's a fun work environment. And today I'm going to talk all about how you can use your social media as a photographer to help further your business, if you choose to have a business, or if just get your photos out there so more people can see them. I do want to stress at the beginning of this, social media is not my favorite. I'm not here to tell you how to be a social media pro. What I do want to do is give you guys some tools, some tips, some tricks, and a little insight into how you can make your social media work for you just a little bit better. We're not taking it super seriously. This is just a little oomph, a little help. And throughout this entire presentation, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat and I'd be happy to answer them. All right. So what I would recommend everybody does is when you start with your social media journey is to ask a big question. What do you want your social media to do for you? So with that, here are some things that social media can do. I like to think of social media as an intern. I'm the only employee in my business, but I use social media as my marketing tool, as a way to communicate with my followers, as a way to get seen and draw business. And those are things that you can use your social media interns for as well. So here are some things that social media can do. Like I said, they can make you more visible. Nobody can see you. Word of mouth is not enough anymore. So how are people going to find you? They can Google you, but I know as a person who's on social media a lot, not only do I Google people, I find them on Facebook, see what their social media profiles look like, as well as on Instagram. With that also comes recognition. And this is something I've talked to Linda about before, is when you recognize somebody, like when you recognize a brand, you're more apt to use that brand because it's something you've seen repeatedly over and over again. Take, for example, like Gatorade. Gatorade's a name brand. We see it's advertised everywhere, but maybe going to the store and seeing sport drink, it's not something you've seen before. You're not so likely to buy it. Sorry, I just came up with sports drink off the top of my head. I'm going to come up with that. That's my $1 million idea. So also, social media gives you an opportunity to create community and make connections. Linda Nickell is the queen of that. She has used social media to create this expansive network of friends and professionals that she can rely on and refer to. And it's all because of social media. Going again to recognition, that brings credibility. The more that you're seen on social media, the more credible you appear. People are more likely to purchase things from you, book workshops with you, or engage with you in any fashion because they know that you're not going to be a scam, you're not a bot. Social media is also a great way to get feedback. And I know with photographers, having lived with one, you want to get some, maybe some honest feedback. I know that if your social media is full of friends, you're going to get a lot of positive feedback, but I'm sure if you ask, there'll be, you can get critiques. You can help expand your photography into something new just by getting a little bit of feedback from your friends and followers. And last but not least, social media is one of the best free ways to advertise. Now you can pay for it, but for the most part, it's free advertising and it's available to everyone. So we all know there's a ton of social media platforms out there. I'm going to focus on the big two. And I think these are the best two for photographers. So those are Facebook and Instagram. I'm guaranteeing that most of you have accounts for both of those. So I'm not going to get too in depth with them. I'm just going to kind of lightly brush against some interesting statistics about them. And here's the reason I'm only focusing on two. It's better to use fewer channels well than to stretch yourself thin trying to maintain a presence on every network. If you want to try and get into Snapchat and do some TikTok dances and have a YouTube channel and a Pinterest account, by all means, be my guest. But I don't have that much time in the day. I don't know about you. So again, one of my goals with this, let's make social media easy and less of a headache. So starting with Facebook. Facebook is the oldest and most used social media network. It has over 2.7 billion monthly active users that reaches 59% of the world's social networking population. Clicks on searches for local businesses increased 23% from February to May in 2020. And those are COVID numbers. Think back to this time last year when we were all going into lockdown. People really clamored onto social media to find local businesses, local artists, anything they could to help businesses they knew were going to start struggling because we weren't able to go out. 2 out of 3 Facebook users visit a local business page at least once a week. I can attest, for me, that's at least 3 a day. I love to stalk people on Facebook. It is my favorite pastime. Instagram, I want to know what's happening. I want to know who's got what on sale, who's doing what. It's a little nosy, I know, but I'm doing what I can in my little stalkerish way to help support local businesses and find out what's going on. 18.3% of adults made a purchase through Facebook in the last year. The reason this is important for photographers, if you're looking to start selling prints, booking workshops, or anything like that that's going to bring money in, Facebook is that tool that you can use to start advertising that. And it's also, it can act as a purchasing platform. So we're going to stick with Facebook for just a little bit. And so with Facebook, I do recommend, even if you have a personal account, if you want to start a photography account, start it as a Facebook business page. With this, you can do all sorts of things like create bookings, take appointments, and of course, make sales. You can also get reviews. You can run promotions and ads. You can engage and field questions from your followers and potential customers. And you can get found in searches or just organically. And here's where I start using Michael Rung as a guinea pig. So when you're setting up your Facebook business page account, it is so important to make sure that everything is filled out as well and as thoroughly as possible. So I've screenshotted Mike's page right here, and he's got a great cover photo. Photographers, you've got plenty of content to put up there. He's used his face as his profile picture. People are more trusting if they can see what you look like. It also gives your page just a little bit of personality. It doesn't have to be a goofy picture, but it shows people who you are, and they're more likely to make a connection with a human as opposed to, let's say, a picture of a flower or a dolphin or a tree. On his bio, he's got Michael Rung Photography. That's the name of his business. Down below it, where it has the ampersand sign, it says Michael Rung Photography. That's how you can find him on Facebook. It is also his Instagram handle, and it's right there up at the top. And then it says photographer. That's how people can find him. If you go to Facebook and you type in photographer, it's going to bring up all these people that have that as their title. And that's how you can get found organically. Now here's the about section. It's really easy to fill out. I'm not going to go too in depth, but Mike did a great job filling all of this out, but keeping it simple. In his about section, he's got landscape photographer based in Fort Worth, Texas. That's letting people know what he does and where he is. He's got his link to his website. He uses a smart bio, which is a link that links to more links, if that makes sense. But most people just use it to link to their website to drive traffic. He's got a phone number down here, all the things to send messages, a good contact email. Again, his title of what he does, his Instagram handle, and he's got his link to his YouTube channel. Having everything in one place makes things so much easier for your followers to engage with the content you've created online. People don't like having to go and search and hunt things down. So if you think to yourself, oh, well, I linked to that in a post 3 weeks ago, they'll find it. They're not going to find it. You have to make it simple for them. So as clear as information as you can put that in your bio. So moving on to Instagram. So Instagram is the second largest network after Facebook. Now, at the time of this presentation, I believe TikTok has actually taken over as the second largest, but we're not going to talk about that today. So we're just going to go ahead and put Instagram in the second place. It has over 1 billion monthly active users with 500 million of them using Instagram stories. 81% of people use Instagram to research products and services. I'm one of them. 63% of Americans say they check Instagram daily and spend an average of 7 hours a week on the platform. I think that's a little on the low end, but I might spend too much time on my phone. And 50% of people have visited a website to make a purchase after seeing a product or service on Instagram. So same thing, kind of back to Facebook. Instagram is another way that people do research for products and services now. It's not just Googling it. With Instagram, unlike Facebook, where you only have 2 options for account types, excuse me. With Instagram, you have 3 choices. So the first one is a personal account. That one is for people who don't want to focus on like curated content. They have no interest in monetizing their posts, or they're not selling a product or service. They're just using Instagram to use Instagram. It's kind of how everything got started. The creator account is one of the newest ones. And as mentioned, if you're an influencer, it's great if you are a public figure or a content creator. And this is a great account for you. If it's great to try to grow your account or increase your Instagram presence. You will need this type of account if you do in the future want to monetize your Instagram account. Or work with some brands, like maybe Canon will reach out and want to partner with you. In order to do that, you need to have a creator account. Also, with your creator account, unlike the personal account, you get insights, which is a great way to gauge metrics and see how your posts are doing. This is such an amazing tool that helps just you see how your posts are doing and how they're reaching people. All right, so next is your business account. And that is if you are a business that's offering products or services. So if you're a photographer that is looking for something more than just sharing content and getting other people's eyes on their photos, you're looking to sell prints, book services, book workshops, then the business account is where you want to be. And so this is where you can run ads, run promoted posts through Instagram. You can set up the business profile. It's very, very easy. And it also gives you insights, which we had talked about with the creator account. Now, don't get too worked up if you're thinking, well, if I set up a business account and I decide it's not for me, can I change it? It's very easy to change back and forth. You're not committed to one account type or the other. You can easily switch between the 3. Although if you switch from a business account to, let's say, a personal account, you might lose some of that momentum you might have been doing if you had run some promotions. But it's not that big of a deal. I say that now. So here's kind of a comparison chart between the creator and business account. They're pretty on par with each other. It just depends on how in depth and how much you want to utilize your social media to grow a business or your side hustle. I do have a link at the end of this presentation where you can find some more information about the different Instagram accounts. So now you've got your Instagram profile, you're ready to get it all set up. Now, this is a huge key part of being found through your social media channels. So your Instagram profile checklist is what I like to call it. So again, I've borrowed from Nickell. So use your category to let people know what you do. This also will free up space in your bio. This is important because in your biography, you only get 150 characters to make an impact. And 150 characters goes fast. So you want to make sure that those 150 characters make an impact and let people know who you are, what you're doing, and what you want them to do now that they're on your account. So with Mike's, he says he's offering personalized online editing lessons and private in-field workshops. Email, send me a direct message for more info. So that first sentence lets people know that's what he's doing. He's a photographer who offers editing lessons, and workshops. The second sentence is a call to action. And that's telling the people visiting his profile what he wants them to do. He wants them to email him or send him a message for more information about how to book things with him. Now, down at the bottom, he's got his Smart Bio link. And again, that is a link to more links. You can post just your website if you want to, but you only get the opportunity with Instagram to post one link. So you need to make it count. So expanding on that, so he's got his profile picture. It does match his Facebook account. That's really helpful. Again, it's his face. People want to interact with a person. So his username is his actual business name, or if you're going to create your Instagram profile name, make sure that it's something that's recognizable, that you can tell somebody like, oh, my Instagram profile is at so-and-so such and such, and make it something that's legible instead of just a bunch of maybe numbers or characters or something that's unrelated to the business. You could have a personal profile and call it something like, Dolphin Woman 284, but maybe that wouldn't be appropriate for landscape photography business. Use the space where your name should be to let people know what your business is. So he has Michael Run Photography. People know he's a photographer. Pretty easy. On mine, I don't have my name on my business account. It's Star Street Creative, but I have graphic and web design. So immediately people know in that bold title what I do and what I want them to know I do. Here are some great examples of some photographers that Mike and Linda, and maybe some of you guys know, that kind of different ways that they've used their Instagram bios to get the point across as to what they do. So Alex Noriega, he's a nature photographer, nomad nerd. He threw a little bit of his personality in there. He roams the US full time with his love. He's got 2 emojis. Emojis are really great to use in your bio. You can say an entire word with just one image. And they're pointing down. It's telling people, look down here, go to my website. Alistair Ben, again, uses emojis, but he uses them in a kind of more fun, playful way. And he doesn't use his name as his title here. He uses expressive photography. And then Simon Baxter, he likes to link to his dog Meg. And if you haven't watched Simon Baxter's YouTube videos, his dog Meg is adorable. So he's also sharing things because Meg has a huge following, and he's cross-promoting. So if you have something you can cross-promote with, maybe you have another business, like check out my portrait photography at this link. Make sure that you're doing that. All right, I'm gonna take a little drink.
Sure. Okay, take a drink, and I'm going to go through. There were a couple of questions that were in the chat. So I think there's some chat in the chat, and someone may have already answered this, but I want you to do it on video. Jamie wanted to know, can you convert a personal to a creator or business account, or do you have to start over?
Nope. It's really easy to switch from one account to the other, and then back again, and then back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Instagram will let you do that as much as you'd like. There is a little bit of a process. I kind of played around with it. I've had a business account, and then I switched to a creator account, and then I switched to a personal account, and then back again, just to kind of see the flow of things and if it was as easy as Instagram was saying. And it's like a 5-step process. And when I say 5 steps, it's very easy. It's like this post and just walking you through the steps of being a creator on Instagram. It's really, really easy.
Great. And there's another question from Jamie. She wants to know, have you heard, she's heard that most people under 30 have moved away from Facebook and have moved towards Insta, Snapchat, and TikTok. Have you found this to be true?
I think so. Definitely with Facebook, the demographic is older as far as users go because it was kind of the first and everybody got on Facebook first. And then these other social media channels kind of came in and they were the new shiny object, which tends to kind of appeal to younger people. Um, it's a weird thing with Facebook that a lot of young people say, "Oh, that's an old people thing." But the majority of Facebook users are actually sort of in the millennial age. So that sort of 24 to 42 age range. And if you're thinking like a business person, don't discount them because they've got some money too.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, I think that, wait a minute, there's another one in here.
Mm,
Uh, okay, no, we're good. Okay.
okay. Moving on. And now I want a disclaimer. It's going to get scary. Are you guys ready? Because we're going to talk about the algorithms. So, the algorithms are what has scared me for the past few years that I've been a social media manager, because they're constantly changing. The little elves at Instagram and Facebook are constantly tinkering with the algorithm to make it more user friendly. Not so much user as in you who is posting friendly, but friendlier for the people who are sitting there swiping and reading their Instagram and Facebook feeds. So this lovely this lovely graphic is basically a breakdown of how Facebook and Instagram how their algorithm works. So here's what they do. They take every post available in a user's network. So we'll say Linda is going to be our user. So they take every post available in Linda's network of zillions of friends, and they call it the inventory. And they score all of those posts according to like a predetermined ranking signal is what they call them. So one of the rankings of what type of post is it, how recently was it posted, stuff like that. Next, it's going to toss out anything that they think Linda is unlikely to want to engage with based on her past behavior. So it also will demote content, not just throw it out, but maybe kind of lower it in the rankings if it's something that could be considered clickbait. It could be misinformation, which is a big thing that's coming out, of the past few months, or just maybe there's something that Linda has indicated in the past that she doesn't like. There's some ads that you can click on, and she's like, "Oh, I don't need anything for, you know." Linda, what is something that you wouldn't want to see an ad for?
Oh gosh, there's so many things. I just got a text from Erin because that's how she communicates with me. And she says, I shudder to think of the things that you use IG for. So um, I can't think of anything. Gosh, there's so many things. I don't look at ads. I'm just not, that's not something that applies to me. So I just keep scrolling. So I'm not a good person to ask.
So maybe if you, for some reason, you kept seeing ads for glittery platform boots. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
that might be the style, but you're like, why do I keep seeing this? And you might click on something and hit, I don't want to see this. So Facebook will take note of that and be like, okay, noted, and they won't show it to you again. So that'll get put in that discard pile. So next step is it runs it through what they call a more powerful neural network. And it goes over the remaining posts that after the ones that have been discarded, and it scores them in a more personalized way. So let's say somebody like me, I'm 20% more likely to sit and watch a video that comes through my Facebook or Instagram feed if it has to do with arts and crafts, because I'm a crafty gal. And it's going to be 59% more likely to show me a video of a cute puppy because I also like puppies. So it starts to learn your habits, and it learns, what you stop and what you watch. It keeps track of all of that stuff. And so it's like, oh, Heather likes puppies. We're going to show her more puppies, which I'm okay with. But it might kick out a picture of my cousin's, 3-year-old. It makes a decision. I love her too. So then it's gone through this funnel. Then it starts ranking those in a value system. So it's going to put what it feels like you're going to be attracted to the most at the top of your feed. And then it does kind of mix in together a nice smattering of different kinds of post types. So you might get some reels, and you might get some, branded content, and you might get some just text and some photos and some carousels, and it kind of puts them all together, but those are high ranking as for what it thinks that Linda or Heather is going to want to see. So what does this tell us about the factors to get a post to the top of the feed? And really, the answer is it depends on the person whose feed you're trying to get into. So Facebook and Instagram says that it's used thousands of these ranking signals. Everything from, hell, it even checks your internet speed, your internet usage, like internet connection. And that'll determine what you see in your Facebook feed. Isn't that nuts? So still, there are four main ranking signals that they use most. And these are them. So number one is the relationship. We're going to keep using Linda, who Linda typically interacts with. So if she interacts a lot with Aaron or Bree or Sue or Mike, and she likes their photos, she comments on them, she's more likely to see their posts over and over again, because Facebook and Instagram know Linda likes these people. She's going to spend more time on our platform if she's looking at their stuff. So they're going to be bumped up in Linda's feed. It also depends on content type. Everything comes down to how long you spend or a follower spends on Instagram and Facebook. So they're going to show Linda things that are going to keep her on her screen. So if she likes videos, it's going to show her more videos. If she likes carousels on Instagram, it's going to show her more carousels. If she clicks a lot of links, guess what? She's going to get a lot of links. So that also can go into popularity. So maybe it's not somebody that Linda really engages with a lot, but it could be somebody that she's got mutual friends. So maybe like Karen Riley, and I'm going to go back and use Mike. Maybe Karen and Mike have been commenting back and forth on a post of Mike's, but it's not something that really has popped up in Linda's. But since Linda knows both of them, it's going to get thrown into her feed. So, and then just time and true recency, timeliness. It's going to show the newest posts first. And I really don't have too much to expand on that. That's pretty self-explanatory. So here are 4 tips. And this is where we're going to get into, like, we're not going to take social media super seriously, but here are some things that can help you bump up your usage of Facebook considering their algorithm. Replying to your audience. If somebody comments on your Facebook post, write them back. Say thank you, or respond back in some way, and it needs to be a meaningful response, because you want to start a conversation with them. You want them to start loving you and loving your brand. Getting your audience to reply to each other. Think about how many posts you've seen on Facebook where it's I hate to say it, arguments between people, or comments, or feeding off of each other, positive or negative. Creating a discussion around your post is going to only drive it up further. Post when your audience is online. Now, this is something you can find when you get into your analytics and insights on Facebook business page or on your Instagram page. I will tell you that 11 a.m. is the best. Well, I take it back. 10:30 a.m. is the best time to post. According to everything that I've read and all of these statistics and studies that I've gone through, most people, not everybody, but most people, maybe they're just done with work for the morning and they want to grab their phones and they want to have some mindless scrolling time. So 11 a.m. is when they're on their phone, but the best time to post is like 10:30, because you want to have your post there first. because everybody else is going to be posting at 11 because they know that that's when everybody's going to be on there. But you get in first. They're going to see your stuff. All right. And then, or you could just skip the algorithm altogether and just post in stories. Stories act, if everybody's probably used stories, they're up for 24 hours and then they vanish. But they're always there up at the top. It's not a post. It's always there. And anybody can see, oh, Heather's got a new story up, and you just click it up at the top and I can get information to you quickly without you having to scroll through your feed to try and find my post. Makes it much easier, and it's just a way to circumvent the whole thing. This is not an accurate depiction of Instagram's algorithm, but this is how it feels sometimes. The Instagram algorithm works almost exactly like the Facebook algorithm. Every single time a person opens the app, the algorithm is constantly combing through the content that they can potentially put in front of these people, and makes many decisions for them. It decides which posts are going to go to the top of the newsfeed and in what order, which posts are going to be in that Explore tab and in what order. It's going to pick which stories you're going to see, live videos, reels, IGTV. It's all going to be up there, and that algorithm is going to make a little decision for you. So basically, the Instagram algorithm is a set of rules. It's going to control your content's algorithm or organic reach. And I would say Instagram and Facebook both have gotten a lot of flack for their algorithms. People have been pretty mad that they haven't been able to see maybe their friends' stuff, and they think that there's something nefarious going on behind the scenes at those social media giants. So, how does the algorithm decide whether a piece of content is worth showing to a particular person at a particular time? Again, it's really similar to that Facebook algorithm. It's going to look at your past behavior. It's going to sweep all of the posts that it doesn't think that you're going to like or you're not going to engage with. It's going to sweep those to the back. They are there. They're just way down the list. And all the interesting stuff is going up to the top. So let's see how Instagram makes those decisions. So just like the ranking signals for Facebook, Instagram has theirs, and a lot of them overlap. Again, you're the relationship. Does Linda interact a lot with my posts? If so, my stuff's going to get bumped up to the top of her Instagram feed. Depends on the content type. What does Linda usually engage with? Does she like videos? Does she like carousels? Does she like IGTV? It's going to show her more of what she likes or what it thinks she likes. Timeliness does go into it again, knowing when to post, knowing when your followers are online so that you can get in front of some eyeballs. And, excuse me, one moment. Sorry about that, y'all.
You're good.
These bottom three options, they factor in, but this you don't, as a person posting to get eyeballs on your posts, these you have no control over. So these are all dependent on your followers. So the frequency of use. So if you have somebody who is on Facebook or Instagram 7 times a day, as opposed to just like a nice 30-minute session at lunch, they're more likely to see your posts because they've already gone through the content that Instagram has decided that they should see. If they're not following that many people and you're one of the not many people that they're following, they're more likely to see your content as well. And that's just a numbers thing. If they're following 1,000 people, imagine the content that's getting sent their way every day from the 1,000 people that they're following or 1,000 accounts that they're following. If they're only following, let's say, 100, they're probably going to see a lot more of your stuff because there's less of those posts that go into that first funnel in the algorithm. Instagram's just going to let everything through. And then session time. I kind of talked about this earlier. Facebook and Instagram know how much time you spend on their platforms scrolling. They know when you stop to look at something. So if you have somebody who is a habitual scroller, I think that's a new term. Um, they're more likely to see your things too, because Instagram knows they've got to create content for these scrollers. Because if they keep saying the same thing over and over again, there's a good chance that they're going to put their phone down, and they don't want that. So here are 8 tips. I kept them short for working with Instagram's algorithm. So number 1, this one I find is the easiest, and that's why I put it at the top. And that's posting carousels. And if you don't know what carousels are, in Instagram, you can post up to 10 photos in one post. And you just kind of swipe to the left, and they kind of all run through. This kind of goes to that last signal on the last page about keeping people engaged on the website, on the social media site. If they're having to scroll through and look at stuff, that's taking up more time, and that's going to keep them on longer. They want, Facebook and Instagram want that. They're going to bump your post up. So Instagram has denied that carousels really will get bumped up further, but research has shown that carousel posts make up to 17% of Instagram posts, and they pull 3 times the engagement of other posts. 3 times. So why not? Especially if you've got a lot of content, and I know you photographers go out there and you kind of shoot, you stay in not one place, but you shoot the same subject, maybe from different angles. That'd be a great way and great idea to show your followers, here's my process when I was looking at this one tree, flower, field, longhorn cow. Number 2 is post consistently. And I feel like this is something I really shouldn't have to say because everybody knows it. It's just not an easy task to do. But this is the number 1 key. Because of, excuse me, on average, businesses post 1.5 times to their feed per day. And that's not really a realistic number for most of us. I like to post for my social media accounts that I run 5 times a week. I take 1 weekday off, and I take Sundays off. Sundays, FYI, are the lowest engagement days for social media. So if you decide to start doing social media planning, that's a great day. So you don't feel pressure to, I have to post today. It's Sunday. No, nobody's doing anything. Don't worry about it. All right. Don't try to game the system. This is something that I have seen so many times, and I'm sure you guys are aware, you can buy Instagram followers, and you can buy what they call Instagram automation, which are bots that run your social media accounts for you and will auto respond to followers, and they will go and like stuff on your behalf. Instagram can recognize these, and it can suspend your account if it knows when you're doing something shady. So don't. That'll just hurt you in the long run. And last but not least on this page, number 4, ignore the conspiracy theories and myths. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard like, oh, well, no, the way to get more followers is to do X, Y, and Z. Stand on your head and click your heels and all of this nonsense. So here are some things that I have heard that have actually turned out to be not true about your Instagram account. It's a thing called shadow banning. Accounts are suppressing posts. It's not a real thing, according to Instagram, but you can get banned or suspended if you violate any of Instagram's community guidelines or terms of use. So I know there's some of you out there who might think that if I use a certain hashtag, I might get shadow banned. If you use a hashtag that you know is going to have a lot of followers, like for example, Cats of Instagram, that hashtag has so many followers, and people think like, oh, if I use a popular hashtag, it's going to get me shadow banned because it's creating too much content and it's flooding people's Instagram feeds. It's not true. Don't worry about it. A hashtag, unless it's hateful, is not going to get you banned. There was a rumor going around about a thing called the reach cap, that if you reach a certain number of people, that Instagram will automatically start slowing down your reach. That is also not true. Creator profiles, business accounts, and verified accounts will not get a boost from the algorithm, although they have their own benefits like analytics. Again, not true. You can have as many followers. Kim Kardashian, who has zillions of followers, she can boost a post and it's going to act just the same as if I boosted a post with my measly little sad account. Instagram has stated that using apps, other features like stories and Instagram Live and Reels won't improve your feed's posts, but asterisk. If there's a new feature that's come out, like the latest thing for Instagram is Reels, if you start kind of playing around with new features, Instagram likes that. They want people to use their new stuff. And if they see you using it, they're going to be excited to get that content out so they can show other people and be like, hey, look, Linda's using Reels. You should use Reels too. So you get a little bit of a boost, and that's actually been proven. A bit. It's not going to make you a superstar overnight, but you'll get a little bit of a bump. So I kind of just went ahead and gave away my next one, didn't I? Try new features. So using Reels could give you a bit of a bump. Again, Instagram has not confirmed that this is actually true, that that's going to happen. But these other platforms, these old fogey platforms like Facebook and Instagram, they're trying to compete with the new kids on the block like TikTok and Snapchat and even YouTube, which has been around for quite a while. That's why Instagram has Reels and they've got stories, which are the ones that disappear after 24 hours. And IGTV was meant to compete with YouTube. So this is kind of another scary subject, which I will talk about later on in the presentation, but using hashtags. So hashtags have been around. They were originally brought on by Twitter, and it was a way for us to search things. We could search for hashtag landscape photography, and it would bring up posts that had that hashtag on there. It was a search tool. But now that these algorithms are so smart, AI can see what you're posting. They know that's a landscape photo. They know that's a photo of a rabbit in a field or a field of blue bonnets. It can see that, and hashtags aren't exactly necessary anymore. You can still use them effectively to categorize them. People still do follow hashtags. For example, I follow hashtag Fort Worth. I follow hashtag Texas graphic designers because I want to scope out the competition. But also it helps me, learn some stuff. I can learn from other people too. So precise, accurate, and thoughtful hashtags they signal more the humans that are involved with social media as opposed to the algorithm. Like I said before, if you're already following that hashtag, you as a person are going to see it. So just like with Facebook's algorithm, and Instagram's algorithm is also dependent on post when your audience is online. So I was saying, think of yourself and your habits. When are you on social media? When do you kind of hit that 10:30, 11 a.m. mark where you've had maybe your first meetings of the day and it's just before lunch? And so, I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to scroll through Instagram or Facebook. Or is it like a post-dinner, pre-bedtime, or even laying in bed at night, 10 o'clock at night? Do you scroll at that time? Think about your habits. And those are probably going to line up pretty similarly to the habits of your followers. That might be a good time to post because you want them to be captured at that time. And last but not least, the most important part of any algorithm, Facebook or Instagram, is bonding with your audience. Winning hearts is how you're going to win against the algorithm. Whatever your goals are for your Facebook or for your Instagram, whether it's awareness, conversions, emails, follower count, sales, driving website to your traffic, success only comes when you're tapped in to your audience's hearts and minds. And this is going to be a crazy statistic, and it's something I've talked to Linda about too. A general benchmark for good engagement on your Instagram is somewhere between 1% and 5%. and 5% is spectacular. So if you have 1,000 followers, getting 50 of them to like your post is a great day. So if you're a little bit bummed because maybe you only got 100, you're blowing everybody else out of the water. So the average the average engagement on Instagram for businesses is less than 1%. So don't get too caught up in likes. Really push for genuine engagement. Anybody can double tap and create that little heart on Instagram, but it takes something like time out of people's day to comment on your posts. Make sure that you're acknowledging that and reciprocating that love and time and effort back to them. Even maybe if it's something negative, reach out to them. People are going to see that. And it shows that you're engaged with your brand and you care about them. So finally, to all of this, define your audience, know what they want, make posts that are going to engage with those people, do a little bit of market research, come up with an ideal client, and start catering to that person. Respond to all direct messages. Make sure you're going and liking, following, sharing contents of other people who have accounts like yours, maybe not even like yours, maybe other local businesses. People see that. They'll go in and check who liked my post. Oh, it's so-and-so's account. I'm going to check them out. Maybe give them a follow back. It's not 100%, but that's how you're going to grow organically. And that's how you're going to grow for free without having to pay Instagram or Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, a dime. So again, don't aim for more followers, make more connections. Is there anybody that had any questions about the algorithm that I could help with?
Yeah, well, I don't know about the algorithm. Let me look here. There's a couple of questions that I've been saving. So Egidio wanted to know, and so a lot of these questions have been asked in the chat. A few people are jumping in and helping if they know the answer. But for the people that might be watching this on YouTube, I'm going to throw them out there. So if you have any insights, that'd be great to share with them. Egidio says, so can we discard an ad in Instagram? I know I can say I don't want to see a certain kind of ad in Facebook, but can you do that in Instagram?
To be completely honest, off the top of my head, I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
That might be something I need to do a little bit of research for. I get ads on Instagram, but Instagram really curates ads for me. And I'm usually pretty happy to see them.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. So Dave is asking, Dave runs a hub called Discover_Carolinas. So he basically is a feature page for North and South Carolinas. So he says for his hub, I post daily while I'm having my coffee, but I know from insights that my users are most active from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Is there a way to do a delayed post?
Yes, and that is actually a really great question. And thank you for helping me segue into my next section that's after this one. It's all about tools that will make your job easier. So working with the algorithm and posting, and we're all busy people. We don't have time to stop what we're doing and create a post at a certain time of day. But I've got some really great links to some tools that are free as well as paid links for apps that help you schedule posts. So that's going to be coming up in the next section.
Okay, great. Mika is asking, one of the questions she has is how to best manage your time on social media. It's easy to get carried away, and how do you make it most productive?
So is she speaking to, and this is what I'm curious about, speaking as a follower, like how she can be a good follower and supporter of people that she follows on Instagram and Facebook, or as a person who creates content and makes the most of her time creating content for the social media channels?
Well, how about answering it both ways?
Oh, okay. So I don't like to spend any more than 30 minutes a day. I run 5 Instagram accounts, 2 of which are my own. but I like to keep it to 30 minutes. And that comes with good planning ahead, knowing what content I want to present, and being organized about it instead of flying by the seat of my pants. That helps me manage my time as a content creator, as a content follower, and Instagram and Facebook user. That's really kind of on you. I think things I've read are like a good thing to do is set a timer. And I'm only going to look at Instagram for 15 minutes. Or it's kind of like going on a social media diet. Limiting your social media calories is I think one of the most effective and probably one of the easiest ways to manage that. So this is where I'm going to delve a little bit deeper into some subjects that I know that I've been asked a lot of questions about as a social media manager. One of the biggest ones is hashtags. I kind of touched on them earlier when I was talking about the algorithm, but to be honest, and this is just between us 35 people, is hashtags really nowadays aren't that important. You can post up to 30 hashtags per Instagram post, and you can post hashtags in your Instagram stories. Facebook doesn't require hashtags. You can post them. It's not going to do any harm or foul to you. But Facebook doesn't really operate off of hashtags. Going back to Instagram's hashtags, just because you can use 30 in your posts or 10 in your stories doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Honestly, there's no right number of hashtags to use, but the consensus is 11 to 17 works pretty well. For your hashtags, I found this really cool way of breaking down the hashtags that you should use and kind of in what order you should post them. It doesn't really matter, but if somebody's actually scrolling through your hashtags, this kind of keeps them nice and organized for those people that do that. So maybe post a couple of hashtags that are image relevant. Then below that, maybe some that are community based. Then some branded hashtags. That's a really fun thing to come up when you're doing branding for your business, is maybe having like a saying or a slogan that's specific to your business, or a hashtag that's specific to your business. Kind of throw those in there. Maybe 2 niche hashtags is good underneath that. And then think about what your dream customer or follower is searching for. If they're going to follow certain hashtags, what are those people probably searching for? And throw those in there too. Ones that are industry specific, so photographers, that's pretty easy for you. Location, good one. Where did you take the photo? Where are you based out of? And content or equipment specific. I like this one for photographers because it lets people know what equipment you're using. If they want to maybe use the camera that you use or the lens that you used, it's a way to let them know that's there too. So I kind of created a little example here. I found this really cute picture of a longhorn. Maybe not cute, it's a handsome picture of a longhorn. And using that guide before, I kind of created some hashtags that I felt would work well for this post. So we got hashtag Longhorn, Texas Longhorn. That's image specific, letting people know this is what that is. An outdoor photographer, animal portrait photographer. I made up a photography company, Jane Doe Photography. And her little tagline is snappy ladies, because you snap. Texas landscape, Longhorn portrait. Visit Texas is actually a really great hashtag for all of us Texans. Visit Texas is actually a monitored hashtag, and you could get featured by using that hashtag. So keep your eye out for those as well. If you see a competition or a major account that says, hey, use the hashtag fill in the blank, and we might feature you. It's no skin off your back to throw it in there, and it might get you in your pictures in front of the eyes of a bunch of people. Texas through her lens, I just like that one. Landscape photographer, wildlife photographer, Texas Hill Country. I guessed where this picture was taken. I said Wemberley because I want to go on a trip there. And then I picked up, this is maybe the equipment that they used. So again, don't get too worked up about hashtags, but make sure that the ones that you're using aren't just a bunch of gibberish. That's the summation of my hashtags. Now I'm going to share with you guys a hack that I learned literally about an hour and a half ago. And this is how to find out if your hashtags are actually working in the way that hashtags should work before this whole algorithm AI thing. So if you want to see how individual hashtags are performing for your account, you have to have a creator account or a business account on Instagram. And if you've got your phones, take a picture of this screen and follow these steps. And this will show how each individual hashtag that you use for a post, how many people it reached through a hashtag search. And then that way, once you do all of this, it'll show you which hashtags are working best and maybe which ones to get the boot. So make sure you're taking a picture of this. And now we're getting into those helpful tools that Mike was so nice to talk about earlier. So talking about posting. So for the gentleman that was asking about, he likes to maybe create posts over his morning coffee, but most of his followers are active between 6 and 8 p.m. And the best time for him to post would be later, but maybe he's not available to grab his phone and make a post at that time. You can use post scheduling tools. There are quite a few out there. I have personally used Hootsuite and Tailwind, and I'm on a budget, and those to unlock all of the content and all of the wonderful things that they can do, you have to pay a bit of a fee. But Facebook Business Suite, if you have a Facebook business page and you connect it to your Instagram account, Facebook Business Suite is totally free. It goes through Facebook. All you have to do is go to your Facebook business page, and you'll see it over on the right-hand side, kind of just below your banner picture. It says Go to Business Suite. And from there, you can type in your caption. You can post a picture. You can post multiple pictures or a video. You can even attach a link to Facebook pages, to Facebook posts, excuse me. And you can either post it immediately and it will post to both your Facebook and Instagram accounts, or you have the option, there's a little drop down menu and you can schedule the post. And I believe it is unlimited scheduling. So if you want to sit down and crank out about 5 or 6 posts, let's say on a slow Sunday or a lazy Saturday, and you want to get all of your social media posts done for that week, you can schedule them out to pop out at the optimum time for your followers to see them, and you're done for the week. And that also, for Mika, that will help you kind of stay off your phone as a content creator, and help you manage your time and honestly headaches. Wouldn't it be great to just knock it all out and then you don't have to worry about it? You can just use social media for fun. You can comment and follow and like the content that your friends and other creators are creating. You don't have to worry about creating stuff for yourself. You've already done it. So next is one of my absolute favorite tools is I use a program called Canva to create branded content for my clients. So it's all cohesive and it all looks the same. You can also use Adobe Spark if you want to. If you're subscribed to the Adobe suite of products, Adobe Spark comes with it. It's not an additional fee. And it is a content creator where you can have all of your brand colors and your brand fonts all in one place. Oh, and I guess I missed the top one. Create a social media content calendar. That is a great way when you're sitting down to create all of your content. Let's say you're sitting down at Hootsuite to plan out your week's worth of posts, to know like, okay, on Monday, I would like to post, maybe it's Black and White Monday. I'm going to post a black and white photo every Monday. And my followers will know that on Tuesday, I'm going to share a tip or trick, and have like a plan and have it so that your followers can kind of know what's coming up next. And I've got all that down at the very bottom. Find links to guides, tools, and resources at starstreetcreative.com/happiness hour. I've pulled together a lot of resources and easy easy to follow guides for all of you to have access to, so you don't have to like, what did she say again? It's all right there. If there's anything else you need, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'm happy to help any of y'all out. And with that, that's my show.
That was a great show. I like the confetti. Okay, so Michael Rung, I expect some confetti next time. I had a couple of questions, I think, here.
Sure.
So let me get here real quick. Okay, there's one question. Is there a source of hubs for hashtags? For example, okay, so I don't know how to ask this question. So is there a source of hubs for hashtags? For example, Inspire Texas Now, Best of the Lone Star State, etc.
I wouldn't say there's one singular source. You've got to do a little bit of legwork.
Yeah.
One of the perks of that program I was telling you about, Tailwind, which is a social media posting program app, is that they can, based on your image and on your caption, they will suggest hashtags to you that are based off of that. And then you can kind of pick and choose which ones you feel suit you best. What I like to do is I like to do a little bit of research and legwork, and I go and look at other accounts that do the business that I also do. I go and look at other graphic designers and social media managers and logo designers, and I see what hashtags they're using, and then I kind of borrow them.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that, but what seems to be working for them, like, oh, that's a nice hashtag. I resonate with that hashtag, especially the one community over competition is a hashtag and a saying that resonates with me, and I like to put that in my posts, and that one has a big following. I wouldn't say there's necessarily a hub, but if you have a Pinterest account, there are some great Pinterest posts about especially hashtags that are day specific. I like to use one, Saturday motivation or Monday motivation. I love alliteration. So you can kind of just search around, have like a Post-it note or a notepad with some that speak to you, but don't use the same hashtags over and over and over again. Make sure that you're changing them up specific to what you're posting.
Let me just say, Heather, that was a lot of content in your little presentation that you thought it's going to be really short. It was full of great tips. And for those that have been on Instagram a while and even Facebook, I think that we've all left with a little bit of, I didn't know that. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for just putting all of it in one place for us. So let me just look real quick. Anybody have any questions? This is a good time to throw it in there. Gosh, there's a lot of thank you Heathers in here. So I'll be sure to share this chat text with you. So with that, any last thing you want to say? I'm gonna close you out.
A little bit of self-promotion on this.
Sure.
I am a graphic designer, logo designer, website designer. I'm good friends with Linda and with Aaron. I've created a lot of websites and stuff, and I would love to help any of you. If you have any work that needs to be done, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to work within your budget. We can make some magic happen. And even if you want somebody to just chat with and go through, maybe kind of figure out maybe how we can make your social media work better, I do have a special rate for just a sit down chat, and we can kind of do an audit and specific to your social media and what goals you want to accomplish. And for Happiness Hour, it's usually $75, but for the Happiness Hour crew, just let me know you're on this call and it's only $50.
Perfect. So. Thank you. Thanks for giving us a little of a break too. Okay, with that, guys, I'm going to shut down this session. So if you guys didn't catch it earlier, you can connect with Heather at starstreetcreative.com. starstreet.com. And if you're on Instagram, look for her at starstreet.creative. And I'm going to link her info on the show notes. If you haven't checked out the Happiness Hour blog, community blog, I'd like to invite you to take a peek. And if you'd like to contribute an article, just take a look at the invitation on my website for details. Next week, Jose Madrigal returns to the Happiness Hour with a presentation called Finishing Touches. Jose will share his post-processing techniques, and he's going to invite you to edit along as he works in real time. So to get the practice images, go to my website, lindanickell.com, and under Happiness Hour, you'll find a link to the images in Jose's class description. So until next time, go out and create something beautiful, and I hope that we see you again soon.